things. I do believe we're in union with Christ. And I do believe that that union dwarfs any need that produces a whatever. And I can watch. I can watch. So, does that make sense? Okay. That's the end of the message. So, it's the beginning of the doing, right? So, Dave, do you want to share, however you want to characterize your need? If you're willing, I'd like you to do that so we can pray for you. You need to use the mic. Now, Zoomers that are still here, I want you guys to be ready to pray. And Jim, I know that you got some long-standing stuff with, stroke recovery and stuff like that. You stand in faith on it. I'm amazed by it always. But I would like to pray for you. I'd like to have some people on Zoom pray for you and be able to share back there with those guys. And I did forget one point about the whatever. So just stay right there.
Okay.
Jesus was notorious for doing something that seemed sometimes mean and sometimes unnecessary. So, for instance, there is a blind guy. And Jesus says, "What would you like to do for me?" And the guy goes, "I'd like a stock tip." "No, I'd like to see because I'm blind." Or, "Do you want to get well, or do you want to stay here at Solomon's porch while everybody else is getting healed?" Jesus asked the question, and that's where I think the whatever is really important. Okay? So some of us have had some long-standing things that haven't been answered. Yours was moderately long-standing, a year and a half or almost whatever. But the power of answering the question, whether it's spoken or not, what do you want me to do for you? Pretty powerful. Okay, Dave. That's why I'm asking you to give us something to work with.
Okay, so I've been working with this company for about 14 years, and I was terminated this week. And that was a pretty big setback for me. It was a pretty big setback. And so that night as I was talking to Daddy about it, I was trying to talk to Daddy, but I couldn't get out of myself, couldn't get away from myself, and so until Daddy pulled me out of myself and helped me to start talking to him, one of the first things I did was I put all my stuff on the floor. And put my pillow on the floor, and I'm laying on the floor, and I'm talking to Daddy. Daddy
so you got out of bed and put
I got
it on
out
the
of
floor?
bed and put my stuff on the floor.
Okay.
And Daddy said, "Get up. You're punishing yourself. You're laying on a hard floor with pillows, punishing yourself. Get back in bed, and let's do this." So I got back in bed, and he put me to sleep. But he was telling me, so many incredible things. But one of the things that really comes through tonight with what you were saying, and some of my buds that I've been able to get back together with, and I had to go outside and just call one of them and tell him that I'm so glad Daddy reunited us, is the importance of us knowing that he's going to touch us through us, that we are his contact point. And so we can't ever minimize what we say to each other.
Yeah.
Because Daddy's talking to us. He smoked me tonight with that. Yeah. Richard, when you said joy, yeah, really?
Poke.
And I had my head back like this, just looking up at Daddy saying, and the next thing I know, hold me, and then and I've been chuckling and laughing like I've said, but so that's my situation. And the part about when you were talking about Yeshua being in Daddy, and then the bottom part of Yeshua being in me, that to me was like a sandwich, and I'm right there in the middle, best sandwich in the world. And that's the part that gave me the joy. Because I know Daddy's always with me. He never kicks me to the curb, no matter how I act. He is always there. And I know that Yeshua is in me. But sometimes Dave just goes left. Mm-hmm. And even though I know those two things, where is Dave? And so now I know that I'm in that sandwich, that sandwich.
All right, so what is the arena of the whatever that you would like some of the folks in here to pray for?
The arena of the whatever is, I've been talking to my friends, my buds, and Daddy has given me some talents and some abilities, and they've been saying, Dave, you need to use what Daddy's given you. You need to take those gifts that he's given you, and you need to walk in those and prosper in those. And I have been working on that. Like, I've written a book and stuff like that, and so I'm redoing that book, and so I want that to work, and I've got card ideas and stuff like that. So I want to use what Daddy's put inside of me to walk in that. Amen. There's this line in Chariots of Fire where the guy says, God made me fast, and when I run, I feel his glory. And so Daddy's given me these talents, and I want to use them and express his glory.
All right, so some of you are going to identify with that, and then you're going to position yourself in Jesus. You're going to see Jesus, Dave in Jesus, and then you're going to let the need, however, that what the Lord shared with me, it doesn't have to do the same thing with you, but whatever your version of that is, ask it when you realize it's small potatoes for God. It's small potatoes for Christ and you in Christ. Okay, doke. Isaac, you got to do it up here if you're going to talk. You have to come up here to talk. Otherwise, the Zoomers won't hear you. Say what? A prayer request? Of course, but just do it on mic.
I'll be traveling next week.
Okay.
Next Friday, to meet with a set of investors for an electric car idea that the Lord has given me.
Mm-hmm. Very exciting.
Yeah.
I know a little bit about it, so it's pretty exciting.
Yes. I'm nervous. The reason is, when you mentioned about this, whatever we desire, over this last 30 years, God has given me so many big ideas that I discounted, saying that I don't think, I can think grand that much. And when a few years ago, that was back in 1979, the Lord gave an idea for a missile defense system. When Ronald Reagan was the president, when I was my first year in engineering college, I said, I wrote that. I said, it can work. But I debated for 30 years. And I said, maybe not. It can work. It's that big? Me? So finally, I had a chance to meet with the Missile Defense Agency, a manager from there at an aerospace and defense manufacturing show. And I just sketched out that whole plan to him. And I saw, like 3 years later, about to leave for India in 2019, the same defense system, the missile defense system has been tried out, and they're just showing me on TV, on evening news, that exact system that I drew on display there. And then when God has given me this idea for this electric car that can go over 2,000 miles per charge, I was like debating within myself, is it possible? Is it just my, is it? Then God said to me, Bentley, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All these ideas that I gave you, you've seen them become a reality in the world today. Big ones, small ones.
So the whatever is that this meeting with
so
the
this
investors?
whatever that God has given me this idea, God said, believe it, Bensley. It's my idea, it's not yours. And God says, it can be 10 times bigger than Tesla. If Tesla with 500,000 cars is worth $500 billion, if you make it 10 times, our company is going to be worth $5 trillion, Bensley. I said, God, what is that?
Okay.
So,
All right, somebody's going to relate to this, and you'll get a chance.
so I'm meeting next Saturday with a group of investors in Texas,
Okay.
and God will give me the grace to go there and meet with them. And then I found that my friend in California, who was the Secretary of State in California, he's an engineer. I met with him a few times when I lived in California. He has become the U.S. Senator now from California.
Okay.
And so we discussed ideas like this with each other. And the Lord said, Benson, in the stimulus money, go and ask for $500 million through him for this project. And so that's the second step. So praying God's favor,
Okay.
with him and Kamala Harris,
Sure.
to
Amen. Let's
and so-
redeem some of that.
So I'm just praying for God's success. It's already done. I see that.
Okay. All right.
So-
All right. So we're going to, somebody will identify it and be able to pray with you. Kristen, is there anything you want to share so that we can join with you in the whatever? Yeah, please. Please.
Oh boy, it's a big whatever.
We're going a little long. I understand that.
I'd like to go home from this trip to Michigan free of cancer, autoimmune, and with
Whatever.
restored family, my
Yeah.
family together, whole. Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be amazing.
See, this whatever thing helps us hear prayer requests too. It helps us make a place where you can ask even beyond what seems possible. Because again, the possibility isn't measured against the history. It's not measured against our resources. It literally is measured against this amazing thing of being a branch in the vine, hooked to the root, linking back to David, linking back to the covenants, linking through to everything that God has ever done. Okay, so you guys heard that, and some of you want to identify with that. Anybody else? Okay, Tim.
Yeah, I don't have a prayer need, but this is something I just felt like I needed to say is I've learned a long time ago not to put God in a box, and I often thought about Jesus and just reminded watching The Chosen, He healed people in different ways. He rubbed eyes of mud on one guy's eyes, people dropping through roofs. He said, go home, your servant is healed. We all love the miraculous healings, and we want to brag about those, look what Jesus did for me. But you know what? He uses doctors, he uses alternative medicine, he uses hospitals. It's all him.
Mm-hmm.
The healing still comes from him.
Sure.
And so if you don't experience the miraculous, it doesn't happen instantaneously.
That's why the watch is important.
Yes.
Yeah, just watch and see it come.
Yeah, watch
see
and
it
wait.
come.
Yeah, he's there.
Yeah, the phone didn't ring when Dave a few weeks ago made his prayer request, but that doesn't mean anything. It doesn't diminish anything. Zoomers, anybody got anything? Are you going to be able to communicate? And I want you to pray for one. It's going to be easier for you guys to pray back there where you can all hear one another, if you can. All right. So I'll let you guys take care of that. Is that cool?
Yeah, that works.
Okay. And now, if anybody has anything they want to share with this group, somebody might want to come back and pray with you, so that's fine too. Uh-huh.
I just sent a job notice to Meg and Vicky. So I don't know if there's somebody there that needs work on a short-term basis. But it pays pretty good. It's a 40-hour work week, but it is contract and it is in Colorado Springs.
We'll look at that and see. Did you guys get that, Vicki? Did you get what Patricia said?
Yes, she sent it to Megan too.
Okay, good. All right, good. Yes,
Okay. I just got a prayer request from a friend. Her brother is in the hospital with COVID, and he's at a pivotal point where he's having difficulty breathing. They've given him as much oxygen as possible, and they're at the point where they're going to have to intubate and put him on a ventilator. But, she's asked for prayer.
Okay.
His name is Mark.
Mark, okay. All right, and then, so some of you guys will relate to that. All right, so Father, thank you for the opportunity that, oh gosh, there's no way to talk about this and do it justice. How incredible is it that you sent your Son to be in us and with us, that your Spirit is in us and with us forever, and that now, through us, to us, you want to release the reality of your kingdom in the lives of the people around us. Some of these folks, Lord, they're going to need us to look at them and see Jesus because nobody's told them that he's there. Nobody's told them that they can see that. And so we'll do that. We ask for help to do that. And then others of us, Lord, it's going to be easy to take our position, and then we're going to have to do whatever we have to do so that the whatever isn't overwhelming. But we give ourselves to you to take our position in union with you, join with the ones that have expressed needs, ask whatever they wish and whatever we wish, and know that it will be done. So, the only possible response to this is for us to do this and pray for one another. It's the only possible response.